Okay, so when I was 19 years old, I was the world's worst drug dealer. I was horrible. I was pathetic. To be an effective drug dealer, you kind of, it's bad to have social anxiety disorder. You kind of need to be like a people person, you know what I mean? So the story is, I was 19, and me and these two friends there were 16 and 17, and we decide that we're going to take a trip from New York down to Charlotte, North Carolina, with about $3,000 worth of acid and ecstasy in the trunk of the car. Now, we thought this was a good idea because we knew one person in Charlotte, a 17-year-old girl we had met once at a party, and she told us this would be a good idea, and we believed her. So we were driving down, and we had made it all the way to God fucking knows where, West Virginia. It's on the map, trust me. And it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and we had all smoked pot, and they passed out. And I was driving, and the last thing I remember thinking before I fell asleep at the wheel was, I wonder what it's like to fall asleep at the wheel. Then I found out. The car is shaking, and my brain says, Frank, wake up! Your 2 left tires are on the grass, and your 2 right tires are on the road. Take the 2 left tires and put them where the right tires are. So I said, okay, and I took the wheel and I turned it that way. But what my brain didn't understand was the laws of physics and the fact that the car was going 85 miles an hour. So when the 2 tires hit the pavement, the car lost complete control. And I just started doing these 360s, whoosh, 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 across the highway until we banged into the guardrail and then ground to a halt for like 100 feet. Sparks were flying, the entire right side of the car was demolished. We spilled out into the middle of the road. No one was hurt. And we were just there, and we were like in shock. I mean, just what has just happened? And a voice in my brain says, Frank, at least it can't possibly get any worse. Which was the precise moment the West Virginia state trooper pulled up behind us. And he pulled up right behind the car, and out of this car steps, in my mind, it's John fucking Wayne, right? I mean, he's got these boots, right? And the stirrup things and like a big hat. Like, who dresses these people? Why? So I'm just, oh my God. And he comes right, who was driving this car? And I'm like, oh God, that was me. He says, get in the front seat. Oh my God. So I sit in the front seat with this state trooper, and we are about 4 feet from the trunk of the car where all the drugs are. And in my mind, right, there are like these neon lights flashing and pointing to the trunk. And they're flashing, and it says over here, it says, drugs, prison, rape, prison, right? So I'm freaking out. And the trooper says to me, can I have your driver's license? And I said, yeah. See, here's the thing about my license. Okay, so time out here. Is a little public service announcement from your Uncle Frank. If you or anyone in your family is going to do a little bit of interstate drug trafficking, and you have a driver's license, it's probably a good idea to bring it. Because I didn't, right? So the trooper says, so you were coming from New York all the way to North Carolina and you didn't bring your license? And I said, yeah, you got it. That about sums it up. And we were so close to the drugs, it was kind of like they were talking to me. And they were like, and this is how the drugs were talking, they're like, hey, Frank, I'm pretty sure in the police textbook there, under probable cause for search and seizure, this is the story, this is it. And I said, thank you, shut the fuck up. And I sat there. And I waited for John Wayne to get out of the car and just tip his head into the trunk where all the drugs were, and then I would say goodbye to my 20s. But it didn't happen. He sat there and he wrote me ticket after ticket, and he called a tow truck, and then he very calmly said, "You boys be really careful from now on." And I said, "We will." Now, as I look back to this night, I think one of two things happened, okay? Either that man was not a West Virginia state trooper and he was some, like, magnificent angel who just came down and embodied that person and was there to save the lives of 3 children kids who made some bad choices, right? It was either that or that was the stupidest state trooper in the history of state troopers. It was one or the other. But either way, we made it home safe, we didn't sell any drugs, and I'm here to tell the story.